This award has only been bestowed one other time. So it is certainly a rare and special occasion when someone reaches this level of recognition. Today, we recognize someone who went above, who went and took extraordinary risks to save the life of another. In essence, Taylor answered the call. We all get different levels of stress and intensity out there, but in this particular case, that rose above what we normally see. So today, we recognize that on August 24th of this year, Taylor had such a circumstance, and he didn't hesitate to answer the call.
So my name is Taylor Burns. I'm a police officer for the city of Kent. So to be honest, I was going to a different call, and I hadn't finished my coffee yet, so I wasn't listening to my radio particularly very well. But I was climbing into my car at our substation, and my ears kind of perked up. They said, "The plane is in the water." So that perked my ears up. I immediately looked at our computers on board on our patrol cars, and I saw a plane crash. And the address was Lake Meridian, which, I mean, who knows how often that happens, how rare that is. But I know that plane crash is probably an all hands on deck kind of response. So I hustled out, and based on information at the time, they said it was at the north end of the lake. So I just pulled up a Google Map image of the lake. There's so many roads that go in and out of there. There's so many streets and everything that kind of cut close to the lake. So I looked at the one that was kind of closest to the north end of the lake. And there was like a private beach. So I figured I could probably go on the private beach and not get a ticket. So I pulled up to the private beach. I had seen the fire department go a different direction when I came in. I just figured they knew something I didn't, but I'm gonna keep on the path that I'm going on. Said a couple of prayers on my way there, as I do on most calls, and then I got out of my car, and when I got out of my car, I was kind of peeking over the fence to this private beach, and there was a guy putting his boat in the water, just a regular, Kent citizen, one of the kind of real heroes of the situation. He's putting his boat in the water, just go help, do whatever you can. It was overcast, raining, all of the fun parts of Washington weather. And he shouted to me over the fence, "Hey, do you want a ride out there?" Yes. So hopped the fence, jumped in with him. I saw one of the fire chiefs behind me in his truck. He jumped in the boat with us as well. And on the way out there, I could see people swimming kind of around and kind of going up and down, heads bobbing up and down. So I started kind of slowly taking my gear off, knowing I don't want to go in with all of my gear on. I normally wear an external vest. That's just going to weigh me down. I didn't want to go in with my gun. So I was lucky enough that the fire chief was on the boat. I felt comfortable leaving my stuff with him. Much to the chagrin of maybe my sergeant, I stripped down to just my t-shirt and my underwear. I dove off the boat. At that time, the couple of fire guys had just gotten in the water, the captain and whoever the firefighter was. And they were both wearing goggles and trying to go up and down, and we were trying to figure out ways to break the window to get into the cockpit or the compartment of the plane. Every dive down felt like 5-10 minutes. I know that one of the fire guys afterwards said it was 10-15 seconds a pop. But when you're working it, you just, adrenaline's going, time's either slowing down, speeding up, something. I was having some issues breathing underwater. I don't know why as a human, but figured out that our normal window glass break tool isn't gonna work. One of the citizens was like, "I have a hammer on the boat." So she handed us a hammer. We were kind of 3-man taking turns going up and down, trying to get into the compartment. At one point, I went down and I was gonna try to rip the seal off of the window, and I noticed that the window was actually broken. So I missed the part where one of the firemen came up and said, "I got the window open," when I was going down. So I reached my hand in, I tried to get a hold of anybody that was in there, but the window was, one by one maybe. I felt a person, I kind of squeezed, like praying that someone maybe get a little movement, something. And I got no response, so I came up, let the guys know that window's open. They went back down, and then the fireman popped up and said, "I got the door on the window, or the window on the door open." So a couple of us went back down, and then you're upside down, or the plane's upside down, you're underwater, it's dark. I had no goggles on, I couldn't see anything. So I'm trying to figure out where the handle is. No clue. Still to this day, I don't know where the handle was. But I came up, the fire guys went back down. He came up and said, I got the door open, but I can't get it. It's unlatched, but I can't get it open. So I went down and I put my legs, kind of braced my legs on the side of the plane and the wing. Pulled the door open best I could. I got it open. And then I grabbed the guy inside and I was pulling him out. By that time I was, again, I needed a little bit of oxygen. So I got him like 60% of the way out. I popped up and I told the guys, like, I got him almost all the way out. They went down. The fire captain and the firemen, they went down. I caught my breath. I took a couple of big, huge breaths and then went back down. And as I was going down, the only thing I could see just in the first couple of feet of water was them coming up with him. So when they came up, they were like, hey, we got him out. They took him over to our patrol boat. Officer Haney and Officer Brennan had gotten our patrol boat in the water so fast. They get him on the boat, and as they're swimming into the boat, I was like, excuse me, I was yelling, like, I need goggles. Give me goggles, because somebody needs to go down and see if there's anybody else in the plane and verify it's clear. So one of them threw me his goggles. I put my goggles on. I swam down and went into the cockpit of the plane with 95% of my body. It was overcast. The lake is a lake, so it's not super clear water. It was super dark. I went in and I kind of hooked my foot on the door to make sure I didn't get myself lost, and felt around in the dark. Even with goggles on, I couldn't see anything, so I was in there. I touched the whole left side of the wall, I touched the back of the cockpit, and I touched the far side, and then at that point I was just kind of grid searching with my hands. Didn't feel anything, checked the other seat, make sure nobody was still strapped in, I didn't miss anything, and then jammed out, came up, gasped me for air. Fire captain was back over near me, and he was like, what do you got? I said, thankfully there's nobody else in the plane. And he said, okay, give me my goggles back, we're gonna verify. Two people, the two sets of eyes are better than one. So he went down, verified. It was a matter of, at that point, just wait for the FAA to show up. We got the pilot over to the dock with Officer Haney and Officer Brennan, got him to the dock and got him to the fire medics who worked on him for a while. And then after that, I just took a nice long stroll back to my car, because where I wasn't in a good spot. So technically I sort of got dressed again, but from the very beginning, there's people on the lake who live there, and they're just enjoying their coffee like on a Saturday morning. It's a gloomy Saturday morning, but Washingtonians are great about just being like, this is our day, that's fine, let's deal with it. But not only did everybody just drop what they were doing, they just jumped in their boats. They went right to where that plane was. People were tying off their boats to the plane to keep it from sinking. 3 or 4 people were in the water when I showed up. I was not the first guy in the water. I don't even know if I was the last guy in the water, but I was I was just one of many. Just so many people were in the water yelling, hey, we've been trying. It was maybe a 5 to 10 minute delay between us getting the dispatched call and us getting there, and getting on a boat and getting in the water. And I'm the 5th or 6th person to go down into the water to try to get it. The fire guys were incredible. Once they figured out they didn't have the tool for the job, they figured out what they needed. And then whoever handed out that hammer, they were the one that helped us get in that plane. The team effort of watching people try their best, right? That plane didn't just fall out of the sky with nobody flying it. They knew somebody was inside, and there's plenty of people who risked, possibly more than I did to get that guy out of the plane. So for those of you who went in the water first, and whether that was you were in your boat trying to work from there or you were actually in the water swimming, thank you. I think that man's family got a chance to say goodbye. And it was because of good teamwork, citizens pointing out that plane went down. Nobody just sat back and waited. People got up and took action, and I think if everybody acted that same way every day, the world would be a lot better of a place.